Welcome to another camping survival video blog. My name is Tom Schock. I had an idea for this video a couple days ago. Pretty excited about it. I want to do a video on the things that disappear after an event that you're going to want to stock up ahead of time. But the key to this is that people often forget about. There's some really good things, and the way I come up with this stuff, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, as many of you have, and you'll notice that, like, when the power goes out, for example, you get excited to get to use your survival preps and break out all your gear. Every time that happens with me, I end up learning something, learning where the holes are in my survival and preparedness. And the key for me to have these things that I'm going to be pointing out here shortly is to make it through, for example, like the first week of a disaster. Now, if you just have a power outage and it's just a couple days, these things will help you be a little more comfortable, help you thrive. Survival isn't just about not dying, it's also about thriving and having fun. So, in my head, the first week of an event will be a time for you don't want to have a lot of stress. You want to have everything laid out, you want to be ready for it, and you want to be comfortable, because if during that week you determine this is going to be a life-changing event, a world-ending event, you're going to want to spend that time being better prepared and working on the future. And if it does end up being a big, huge disaster, you're going to do a lot of improvising, adapting, and overcoming. So that first week, it'd be nice if you're just set and you're able to thrive because of the things you have. One of the things I'm thinking people don't really want to run out of is this right here. No kidding, toilet paper. We sell a ton of toilet paper. We sell it by the case, and it blows my mind. People have 3, 4, 5 rolls of TP in their house. I mean, even without a disaster, that's a disaster in my head. So, you know, long-term storage survival, we have these packed like this, and this is a 1,000 foot 2-ply. We also have single ply, and we have a 600 footer, but definitely something that people think about. I think some people, even that are in survival and preparedness, they figure that one last run. A lot of people call it, meaning, you know, something happens, the world falls apart, you're going to make that one last run to the grocery store, and you're going to get fix the holes in your preps. And I think people think a lot about toilet paper during an event like that. But I think you should stock up on toilet paper ahead of time and have tons of it, have it deep. That's extremely important. Some other things to think about. Shower, please, Josh. Thank you. Camp showers. It's something I came up with a while ago because, you know, during a power outage, even a simple power outage, your water isn't going to be running oftentimes, depending on how big the event is. And these are terrific because, and I've used them in the Marine Corps actually, and they're easy. It's a 5-gallon container. You can hang it up in your shower or even outdoors. You build an outdoor stall, maybe put a pallet underneath it. You can get creative, but the sense of well-being and health and good feeling is amazingly enhanced for you and your family if you're simply able to take a shower. And you can make them cold, and they make them black. We would hang them outside in the desert sun, and, you know, later in the day the water would be warmer. But you can also put warm water in them, and you can also have these hanging up, and I've got another solution for this too, different, you know, in your sinks. Because again, if the water's not running, you're going to want to wash your hands throughout the day depending on what you're doing. You can actually not only use this for shower, but just hand washing, sanitizing before you eat. It'll be extremely important to maintain sanitary conditions during after a disaster. And just washing your hands will keep everyone healthy. It's extremely important. Camp shower. And they're pretty inexpensive and simple to use. Throw me the gray water brick, please, Josh. Thank you. Okay. Now this is a thought I had a while back during a previous power outage, kind of similar to the shower idea. These are water bricks. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but what's awesome about them, actually grab the blue one too, Josh. One of these, and you'll notice here, this is important, hidden in plain sight. We actually build things throughout our store, in our warehouse, in our offices, and my home with water bricks. And they're simple, they're always ready. And what's great about them is you should also store, for example, 55 gallons of water jugs or barrels as well, so you have lots of water. But the problem with those is getting the water where you need it. They're going to be in your basement or something. They're extremely heavy. You might want to think about a siphon and practice siphoning if you're not familiar with how to do that ahead of time. But what's great about these is each one of these will fill up the back of your toilet. And I actually have had this question over years. People ask me, will my toilet work during a power outage? And you don't need electricity to run a toilet, but you do need electricity and pressure to get water flow. So if you have a whole bunch of these stored around, they're portable, they're mobile, great thing to have, not overwhelmingly heavy. So pretty much if you have these stacked in the bathroom, you can still use your toilet. Now take it a step further and put one of these next to your sink, because again, during a power outage, or even more, if the water isn't running, you are going to want to set up some kind of a sink system. You can use that shower, you can use one of these. Boom. So you have this full of water sitting over the sink, and no water is not a problem for you because you're already stored up. So you want to keep your life as normal and simple as possible for you and your children, if you have children, to make it through any kind of an event. It's terrific things to have, water bricks. So think about that, and maybe even test it during your next power outage, or even I know some people do this, they create their own power outage. They hit the breaker in the house and they say, okay, we're going to do a test this weekend with no power. It's an interesting, fun thing to do with the kids. Fish stuff plays. Next thing to think about, animal antibiotics. Yes, I think it's an extremely important part of your overall emergency preparedness plan to have this stuff around. We can't get into a whole lot, but do your research on that. Start doing some research checking into it. The Canteen cup and chow set, please, Josh. Running the time, otherwise you're going to hit me. Thank you. Now, years ago, I mentioned this in other videos, I'm a huge fan of Canteen cups. I lived out of these in the Marine Corps, in deserts and cold weather training, all kinds of stuff. And they're absolutely amazing to have. What I recommend and what we do is it's part of our emergency kits. So if something does happen, power outage, each of us in the family has our own chow set and our own Canteen cup, and we're responsible for maintaining them. This way you're not, going through a whole bunch of paper plates, you're not accumulating dishes. You use your Canteen cup. They're great for camping too. You clean it up, and then you always know where your stuff is ready. And what's great about these, they're more than just drinking and eating. Love drinking coffee out of these in the field, but they're also good for brushing your teeth, shaving. I've dug with them. As I said, I can live out of one of these things, and it's really simple and easy to use, and it's durable, and just a great product to have. Highly recommend it. So, chow set, Canteen cup. Highly recommend them. Next thing, bandanas, please. Another great thing to have is in your emergency kits and have ready for everyone is a set of bandanas. Each person in your family or your survival group should have a set of bandanas, and there are so many uses. You're eventually going to run out of tissues. A lot of people say, well, during an event I don't worry about toilet paper, I use cloth and I wash it. We'll get to that point if a disaster is big enough. So you can use these for difficulty in breathing, covering your face. You can use them for tourniquets. You can just covering a wound, for cleaning yourself out of your Canteen cup, for washing. Just immense number of uses. I have these in just about everything I have, and highly recommend you always have one on you. And in a disaster situation, even just a power outage, your kids should even have one of these. Just great to have, multitude of uses. And again, the key to these things is a lot of people forget about these things. So I think they should be a part of your kit. Light sticks, please, Josh. These are fun. Everyone loves light sticks. Kids love them. What I like to have them in my kits for, let me fix my microphone, is hanging in the bathroom. Hang them up by a string in the bathroom against the mirror. So, they're lit up and the light goes throughout the room. And what's cool about that is how many times during a power outage do you walk into your bathroom and flick the light switch off and then you realize it's dark? Now granted, you can use the bathroom without light, but again, part of this whole thing, like for example, a simple power outage or the first week of an event, you want to be as comfortable and normal as possible. So you can plan, you can figure out what you need to do, what your next steps are. It'd be nice to have a little light in the bathroom, especially for the kids. night lights. I mean, we stock up on these things. Depending on how your kids are, they might still want a night light. Highly recommend light sticks. I think I said about 8 things. A couple of these have more uses. Headlamp, please. This goes in the lighting category. I absolutely love headlamps. I mean, I've always got a flashlight on me, at least one, maybe 2. But if you don't own a headlamp, and we have tons of headlamps available on the site, but what's absolutely awesome about them is it frees up both of your hands. Now, a lot of times, I'll have my flashlight, I put it in my mouth or something, but again, if a power outage occurs, you're going to spend a lot of time in the dark, and you're going to want to be comfortable, and you're going to have to be as normal as possible, and you're going to, even washing yourself during the evening, washing your hands, washing your Canteen cup. You got this mounted on your head. Boy, if you've never used a headlamp, try it. They're absolutely awesome. Love them. You got to stock up on extra batteries as well. But can't recommend headlamps enough. They're absolutely awesome to have. And the last thing I highly recommend that everyone in your family or survival group has, if a disaster occurs, you've got some basics. I always carry my Leatherman with me anyways, but a multi-tool. Everyone should be assigned a multi-tool. During a stressful situation, an enormous amount of jobs are going to be popping up that you hadn't thought about before. And having a small set of quality tools on you're going to have your own tools, of course, but you're traveling throughout the house, or boom, a number of things are going to happen. I use my multi-tool daily. And some things you may not have even thought about. I clip my nails with my multi-tool scissors. I've clipped hair with multi-tool scissors. The scissors on my multi-tool, well, I hate to get into hygiene too much, nose hair. It's just an amazing number of uses. So everyone in your survival group should have a multi-tool on them in a difficult situation. Anything else over there, Josh? Nope, I don't think so. So those are some things you may have forgot about, and we'll have links up on the screen. Highly recommend you include these in your preps, and I hope you enjoyed it and maybe you learned something. Every time I have a power outage, I learn something. I learn from all my friends, and whenever we get together and we talk about survival and preparedness. But so that's almost it for the video. One last thing I wanted to show you is we have a store, a survival store in Sanford, North Carolina. So we're going to pan around the survival store here just to show you what it looks like, and I'll kind of just, we've got our fish meds, we got food, and it's expanding. We just took a corner of our warehouse. We've got an awesome warehouse here with a great group of people, and we put out orders all day long, from the website. But our store is cool. We're getting to meet local folks. If you get a chance to come to North Carolina, make a trip down to Sanford, North Carolina, come visit our store. We're open 6 days a week. Our hours are on our website, campingsurvival.com. That's Josh. He's been throwing our stuff. Raquel's behind the camera. Do you want to say hi in the camera, Raquel? No? Okay, no problem. Cool. So that's it for our video. Several things that you want to make sure you stock up on that people often forget during an emergency. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Thank you, and have a nice day.